And you don't have to sacrifice your progress or your sales while doing it either. That's what I discovered when I did one of my very first niche changes. I started as a career coach, but as I built that business, I realized it just wasn't my cup of tea. Or coffee, should I say. Because of that, I wanted to pivot to another one of my skills at the time, advertising consulting. So completely different. Now, at the time, I did not have a huge audience, which actually turned out to be a huge blessing because not that many people were paying that much attention to what I was doing at the time anyways. But what about when you do have an existing audience and you still want to make a change? That's the problem I faced when I did my next niche change. See, I had built up my business around helping women specifically build their business. And all my marketing and content was focused on that. Don't get me wrong, helping female entrepreneurs is still a huge passion of mine. But as my business grew, I realized I was naturally attracting a lot of male clients too, and they cared just as much as the awesome women I was helping. You might be scared to change something about your business that you have made so important. But the truth is, nobody cares about your business more than you. That means if you just start gently transitioning your content, your growth is gonna feel fairly natural to your audience. For example, one day I simply stopped saying, I'm here to help women build their dream business. Instead, I started saying, I'm here to help big dreamers build their business. And that's tip number 1 for you. Literally, just start talking about it. But even thinking about that, you might worry, won't some people unfollow me if I just start talking about a different topic? The truth is, yes, some people will. But here's why that's not a bad thing. Why did you start your own business? It's a hard path, but I'm guessing you did because you wanted to do something meaningful and fulfilling. After all, why work that hard to do something you don't enjoy, right? So when you lose some followers who aren't the right fit for you anyways, you're actually freeing yourself from people who aren't your ideal clients anyways. I know it's scary, but in case you needed to hear it, it is going to be worth it. Because soon, people are gonna start seeing you in this new light and it's gonna feel like this was your niche all along. But that doesn't mean you can't be smart about this transition. Let me give you a personal example. When I was changing from being the coach who ran these big live group programs to being a creator and teacher of self-study courses, I knew that I needed to give my audience time to get used to buying from me in this new way. If I had suddenly stopped doing group coaching cold turkey, I would have cut my revenue by over 90%. And no way was I going to do that. One of our core beliefs here in LZ Land is family comes first. We're not going to be high risk with our revenue when our loved ones are relying on us. But that's also why when you're transitioning your niche, you want to give people time to get used to that transition and rebuild their trust. For me, I gave it 3 years before I fully transitioned to online courses. But it's not easy knowing how to gently transition your audience to this new thing, which is why tip number 3 has a super special shortcut to help you get the ball rolling. Look for the bridge between your starting niche and your end niche. What are the similarities that can help you bridge that gap so that your content isn't changing drastically all at once? For example, when I transitioned from ads consulting to helping people build their own business, the bridge was the end result, helping people build their own business. But let me throw out a couple more examples, ones that I'm making up, but that might help get your mind turning about your bridge. Say your starting niche is busy, healthy mom-friendly recipes, and you want to transition into selling jewelry. That bridge could be helping women feel their best. Or if your niche is pet photography and you want to transition into taking wedding photos, that bridge could be capturing memories in their sweetest forms. Speaking of bridges though, we do need to talk about what to do with the niche that you're leaving behind, because you might be thinking about just burning all the bridges for your old niche. I have seen so many people do this, but honestly, there is a much better way to transition that's also going to be a lot less stressful for you. For example, when I was making my own transition from ads consulting to business coaching, I kept all of my ads consulting clients even as I started marketing my new niche. That way, there was not any panic of, oh my goodness, how am I gonna pay the bills? So at least initially, when you have a potential client ask you, hey, are you still doing your old thing? Think about responding with something like, that's not my focus right now, but I'm still happy to help you. High five to transition your niche in a smart way where you're not having to sacrifice your sanity or your sales. But I get it. You might be chomping at the bit to switch your niche because you are just done with what you've been doing. If that's you, then you might need to hear this. Sometimes taking just a little bit longer than you might like could be the thing that sets you up for way more success. And I promise I'm only sharing advice that I have followed myself. I always knew that I eventually wanted to help people build their own business. But I also knew I had to first earn the skills and experience to be able to do it in integrity. So I waited until I had figured out how to first build other businesses, including a business that allowed me to replace my salary and leave my job. Choosing the right timing can make all the difference when transitioning your niche. So is right now the best time for you to make that switch? Or would giving it a little bit longer set you up for more success? If your answer is the latter, one of the best ways to transition your niche over time is through blogging. And it doesn't have to be super complicated either. That's why in this next video, I lay out how to use blogging to transform your business and boost your sales in just 4 simple steps.